the remember like the jacal, like where they have like a little hut or like a little
Oh yeah, yeah,
yeah, like that, dude. I went to go
okay,
visit the rancho and it was
yeah,
very very poor.
yeah. It's nice going over there because you realize that the life you have now. Sometimes you complain about it, but you go over there and you really appreciate it, right?
Yeah,
And yeah,
yeah. Like when I go to Tijuana and I see my cousins that were like the same age,
yeah,
and I'm like, fuck. I'm so glad my parents, crossed the border and did what they had to do to put us here. Where there's a lot of opportunity, and we're blessed. With everything that I always say. We're like in Saudi Arabia here in California. There's so much money, there's so much opportunity.
yeah,
But yeah, when I see my cousins, that stayed, I mean, I'm pretty sure, you get used to lifestyles. You get used to everything, right?
yeah, yeah. You get used to this life, and sometimes you take it for granted.
Yeah.
I think everyone takes it for granted, but all it takes is going over there once or twice, and you realize that what you have here is paradise. Like you said, Saudi Arabia. There's a lot of opportunities that people take for granted.
And it's a trip because sometimes I have people tell me, like, um, well, people that were born and raised over there that had a childhood in poverty, dude, when they tell me, like, their story growing up, it's a big ass smile. And they're like, I wouldn't trade it for anything. Like, running in the mud without shoes,
Yeah,
waking up to go milk the cows. And, like, they tell me all this story, but it's like, dude, it was the best childhood ever. And, like, right now, here, the kids, the iPads, the all, it's is less of a childhood than growing up in Mexico.
yeah,
When I was growing up here, we still ran around in the streets, but right now I feel like it's more secluded. It's more, we're kind of being more isolated a little bit.
hmm,
Yeah, so it's different.
yeah.
But we're here now, so
Yes, sir.
Jesus. So I wanted to talk to you. You have your janitor business.
Yes,
That's what you call
commercial.
it.
Commercial cleaning or
Oh.
janitorial business.
So it's commercial.
Commercial cleaning, yeah.
So commercial, okay.
Yes, sir.
Because sometimes
Yeah.
people call me a gardener. I'm like, I'm not a gardener technically, but okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of people, they call it different names.
I thought it was
but
like janitorial.
janitorial
services.
or commercial cleaning, yeah. Janitorial, it basically just means janitor, right? But once you throw in the commercial cleaning, it kind of opens up to more spaces like construction cleanups, uh, day porter services, floor cleaning, window cleaning, uh, floor care, carpet cleaning.
So all the aspects of going into commercial buildings, restaurants,
Yeah,
supermarkets after hours, and just going and cleaning.
yeah, anything from a daily cleaning to a construction cleanup or a carpet cleaning, even a pressure washing. We also do pressure washing, so that's why I like to call it commercial cleaning.
Got it.
Yeah, it kind of opens up the space for me.
There's a big market for that, I believe.
Yeah, yeah, there is.
How'd you get into it?
Uh, so I basically got into it by accident. I used to work as a plumber, making minimum wage, and I got laid off. This was in January 2020, right before COVID. Right before
Really?
COVID, yeah. And instead of just staying on my ass and being lazy, that same day I got laid off. I was going home and I was thinking of how I can better myself or what I can do next. So I ended up calling one of my uncles here in LA. He's been doing janitorial for about 25 years now, and I called him, hey, I need some work for a couple of weeks. So I came down here, and he, once I was over here, I worked for a couple of weeks. He told me, hey, why don't you start your business? I'll help you out. So that's basically how I started. He connected me with another company that I subcontract for 5 years. So I've been getting all of the work through them as a subcontractor, and up until March of this year, I was comfortable, but I was doing pretty good money, but I was to a point where I wasn't growing anymore. So I was just being passive, not really trying to get clients, just taking it day by day. So
Chilling.
yeah, just chilling. So something clicked in me, and the very first thing that I did was join a mastermind. And dude, once I went there, it just opened up my mind to a lot of things. It showed me what I was doing wrong in my business. I was just running like a one man show basically. I did have employees, but I was, getting the jobs. I was checking on the jobs, doing invoices, doing proposals. So that just took a toll on me.
That's a lot of people. I mean, a lot of people get stuck like in that entrepreneur phase where they're still being kind of like the employee. They're still running the job, still
Yeah.
selling, managing. Um, what made you join that mastermind?
Um, I don't know. I felt like I got to the point where I wasn't. I wouldn't say happy, but I wasn't.
You were like stagnant. You were just
Yeah, I
stuck.
was just stuck with myself and with everything going on. I was doing pretty good, but it wasn't that it wasn't enough. But I felt like I can do something better, right? Something for myself, something for the company, and now it's to the point where I'm building the company to run like an actual company or business, to run like an actual business and have a team behind me. You know.
How long were you doing it until you started your business?
So I started in 2020. Um, February 2020 up until March of this year, I started running ads. I connected with advanced marketers, which is now your marketing
Yeah,
agency
I
as
always say
well.
you can't advance unless you have advanced marketers. So shout out to them.
Yeah,
But no, but you were working so your uncle hooked you up as a janitor,
yeah.
and then you were working with him for how long until you actually decided to go
It,
start your own
it
business?
was fast. It was like a whole like 1 month. He had a lot of work and we were working like 20 hours a day.
So you
And
saw the demand.
yeah, I saw the demand and he told me, "Hey, let's do it. Let's start your business." We went to Norwalk, got a business license, and I just started working right by myself. I just started getting accounts. It got to the point where I was working 20 hours, 16 to 20 hours a day by myself. So that's when I started hiring people. And I got to the point where I knew that something had to change because everything was repetitive. It was to the point where I wasn't growing. I was gassed out, and that's where my mind changed, my mindset. As soon as I joined that mastermind back in March, my mindset changed, and that's where a lot of people don't realize that nothing changes until your mindset changes.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we're visual learners as well. When you go to these masterminds, when you go to these events, a lot of the time, a lot of the important things that happen there is the networking.
Yeah,
You're meeting people, you're talking to people that are actually killing it. So you might be down for the month or for the season, but then you look to your shoulder and you're like, damn, this fool's fucking killing it right now. So it's something with me.
yeah,
It's not the economy. It's not who's the president. It's not who we're at war with. It's like, because I can't use that excuse if I see this guy over here across the table killing it, and we're in the same field. So I feel like being at these masterminds, and it's all about connecting, right? And seeing other individuals, because once you see it, then you start to believe it.
yeah. I feel like, especially in our type of culture, the Latino and Mexican culture, they plant that seed, that the fear in you, like you said, this is going on, the economy, the president. But I don't listen to that anymore.
Yeah, when I was gonna start
I
my
used to be
business
scared.
in 2019, they'll be like, no, Trump nos va a sacar a todos, don't start. I was like,
Yeah,
bro, I'll start my business regardless, who's president.
yeah,
But it all goes back to the environment. And I
yeah,
feel like something cool about you, I just feel like you're always, you're not scared to put yourself in those positions, right? Where you're going to go learn. Like, we did the event in Orange,
yeah,
and you showed up, and then you were there like for half a day, dude. And I was like,
yeah.
what's up?
I had a vacation plan that day. I jumped on a cruise to go to Cabo, with my family, and I knew that you were gonna have that mastermind with Chris, and I just decided I have to go, even if it's for half a day. And it basically ended at 12 because then it was just networking, right? But I wanted to just go in there and learn as much as I could. And one of the things I do this for is because I feel like life gives you a few opportunities. Life gives you a handful of opportunities, but sometimes we don't take them, and that's what just keeps you in the same place.
Yeah, I mean, when you told me that, hey, dude, I gotta go because I gotta catch a cruise, I was like, who comes to the event for 2-3 hours? But that's your mindset. Like, you're like, fuck it, I'm gonna show up for 2-3 hours, but I know I'm gonna get something out of it.
Yeah,
So there's a lot of people, and we threw that event with Chris like in 2 weeks.
yeah,
Like, same thing goes back to networking. When I met Chris, both from Orange County, he has his advanced marketing team and a great company. And right off the bat, we kicked it off, and we're like, you know what, we should throw an event. And we planned it like for 2 weeks. Dude, we sold out twice.
yeah,
Like, he had to call the venue to beg them to let us sell like 20 more people because it was just the demand. Like we sold out in 2 weeks.
Yeah, it was a good event. There was a lot of business owners and a lot of people that are trying to change their mindset. They might not be at the at a good level, but they're trying to be right. And yeah,
And I feel like that's, when we talk business, sometimes I get overloaded, right, with all the business stuff. But it's I always say, like, being a good entrepreneur, being a good businessman, you always have to be learning. You always have to be
yeah,
a student,
yeah,
right? Like I call myself the maestro, but I'm always a student.
yeah,
I'm always listening. I'm always watching.
yeah.
I'm like a sponge.
One thing that I really like about you is you're very organic, bro. Like you're an actual business owner that is just trying to shine the light on people, right? I feel like people think it's magic or there's like a secret to running a business, but there's not. You just have to want it, and you have to change your mindset. That's one of the most important things. And that's what brought me to meet you, right? Because once I joined this mastermind and I started, stop being scared about people saying no or about what people are going to say, I joined your group and I basically said, hey, my name's Jesus. I do commercial cleaning. Can I go meet you at your office? I came in here, said hi, said, hey, let me clean your floors for free, right? And you said, go ahead. And well, what did you do? You said, hey, give me a proposal to clean my office once a week, right? And now you're my client.
Yeah.
You're my client, and we're able to have this relationship and do things together. And you know,
That's how it starts. It's all introducing yourself, making that connection, offering something of service, of value, right? A lot of people offer their services to me.
yeah,
Like, Danny, you need this, you need that. But when you're like, hey, dude, let me just do it one time cleaning. And then I see your cleaning person, I see you. So I'm already creating a relationship.
yeah,
So I'm like, oh, fuck it. Then let's just put me on the schedule to do it every month. But, and that's why I tell people, that's how I started my business. Is Jim Rohn has a saying: if you give enough people what they want, you'll receive everything you
yeah,
need. And I took that to heart. Every relationship, everything I reach out to people is like, I'm not looking for what they can give me. I'm looking what value I can give them first. How can I be of value of you? How can I be of value to you? Because I know if I give enough value out there to the universe, I'm going to get everything I need, everything I want back. Because I'm just providing so much value out there. So that's what a lot of people get stuck on, the transactional. They're
yeah.
like, what's in it for me?
How much am I gonna make, right?
That,
But
and
they don't care about the relationship. And I feel like that's one thing that drives business is relationships, right? Just organic relationships. Even if you're not gaining a transaction from someone that you meet at the store or at a mastermind, right? You're meeting them, you're connecting with them, you build a relationship, but maybe they won't use you, but their cousin will, or their uncle, or one of their partners, right? One of their employees. Someone's gonna need you eventually, right?
yeah, like I just went to a job maybe 3 months ago in Redondo Beach. It's a big developer, and they already had their hardscape guys, but I guess they saw one of my videos, so they called me to go do an estimate. They didn't give me the job, but 2 weeks ago he referred me to somebody, and I just closed that project for 50,000. And she was like, "Well, Tony said great things about you, but I never got that job from the developer. But just me showing up, being presentable, not worrying that I didn't get the job. I still thank them. Thank you for the opportunity. If there's anything else you need, just me being, good ethical businessman." Then somebody asked him for a referral, and he threw my name in the hat, and we just got that project. So it's all about, the connection, and being good to people, because people want to do business with people.
Yeah,
That's why, like, you in your videos and your ads, I always say, just show your face. Show your face. Like, sometimes we're shy,
yeah,
this and that. Like, I get a lot of shit because of my ads, and the architects and other contractors make fun of me sometimes, but that's okay because I'm showing my face. When I show up to a client's house, they already know who Danny is. They already know who Rosewood is because they've seen me before. So it creates kind of like that connection already, and they feel comfortable when I show up to their house.
yeah,
So it's very powerful. That's why I'm big on branding, big on personal ads. Everything that you're doing with the advanced marketers, that's exactly what I recommend for anybody that's starting up. Is like, going out there, showing your face, showing what you do, and putting it out there in the universe.
Yeah, like when I came to your event, one of the guys didn't even know my name. He said, "Oh, you're Skyview Maintenance, huh?" You know, so it's like, hey, this is a truck. It lets people know who you are. It lets people know who you are.
Can you imagine if you would have never gone to that mastermind and all these things that you've been doing? How would you be?
I'd probably be at home at the couch, you know.
Chilling.
But you know, all of this transpired to the right here where we're at right now. Like you called me like 2 hours ago, say, "Hey, Jesus, come through during a podcast," and that's where what I said earlier goes into play. Like you gotta take an opportunity when life gives you an opportunity. You gotta grab it by the hand and take it.
Yeah, and it's funny because I was just reading this. A lot of people want to say it's luck, right? Like I started my business, zero money, zero credit, zero daddy's money, zero whatever, dude. I wasn't even zero. I was negative when I started, and people want to say it's luck, but it's not luck. You create your own opportunities. I go back to if you're really good. For example, people know I build pools. They know I do outdoor construction. I posted on my Instagram all the big jobs I do, right? Drones, everything. They see my trucks, they see my branding. So if there's a client that all of a sudden wants to redo their house and they want to spend $1 million, $2 million, and they call me, it's not luck. I attracted that client, but by perfecting my craft, which is outdoor construction. If you're doing a lot of commercial work for cleaning, and all of a sudden Costco, Target, Walmart reaches out, it's not that you got lucky.
Yeah,
it's that you're positioning yourself for that opportunity. If you're sitting at home playing Call of Duty or whatever, or watching, I mean, nothing wrong watching the games, but you're just sitting at home, bro. They're not gonna come knock on your door. Hello, Jesus. Hello, it's Target. No.
Yeah, people don't realize how many people said no to you, how many consequent or how many obstacles you had in your business. People just see the good side of it. People don't see you got up at 3-4 in the morning, you didn't get home till 10-11 at night, you didn't see your wife. I don't have kids, but maybe Danny, you sometimes you get home, you don't see your kids. Yeah. People don't see that, and
they don't see the sacrifice. And if they do, they don't pay mind. They don't pay attention.
Yeah, they just brush it off.
Yeah, they a lot of people have that victim mentality that, everything's wrong, everything's going wrong for me. And, you can't have that because you're just going to defeat yourself.
Yeah.
I'm always looking at the upside, not the downside.
Yeah, I feel like you have to be more positive, not just in the business aspect, but in every aspect of life. Because when you're positive to the universe, I believe that it's positive to you.
Yeah, like we have a WhatsApp with all the guys from the group, and you put anything out there, it's all positive.
Yeah. You
go to somebody else, hey, I'm gonna do this. Nah, okay. Hey, you can't have that kind of energy. You can't have that negativity around you. You have to be around positive people that are actually making deposits, not withdrawals. Like sometimes I'll call people from the group and just make a deposit. I don't have to vent. I'll just be like, hey, how's it going? How you doing? They'll go into, I want to fire this motherfucker, this and that. But, hey, it's like, it's helping each other, because last week I was going through that. So that's why it's important, the networking.
Yeah. Networking and also marketing. That's one thing that kind of has elevated in my business, slowly but surely this year. It's been doing pretty good.
Were you scared at first to do marketing?
Oh yeah, I was scared off my ass. But I knew that it was going to take time and money, right? You're gonna spend $20,000-$30,000 till you even get a call, but that's gonna pay off at the end of the at the.
But you knew that because you went to these events, because you went and educated yourself.
Yeah.
You weren't going in blind, giving your money to a marketing company.
No, I've had people ask me like, "Hey, I want to start a business. How should I invest it?" You should invest in yourself first, right?
100%.
And then start a business. You don't have to know everything right off the bat. I didn't know anything. I knew how to work, but I didn't know the business side of it. I didn't know what a SOP was, or I didn't even know what marketing consisted of.
Correct. And that's the only thing when you go network and meet with people, right? Like me, when there was a point a couple years ago, we were at 3 million, and I feel like I was a hamster on a wheel. I was just spinning, and that's when I reached out to Next Gen at the time when he still had the company, Ishmael. We went to his headquarters in Anaheim, and dude, I was like blown away by the operation, by everything they were doing, and same thing. They were like, "Do you do any marketing?" I was like, "I don't do any marketing. I'm only referral work. I'm doing 3 million, just referral work. Like, why do I need to do marketing?" Right? I thought I was like the hot shit, and they looked at me like I was retarded. They're like, "What do you mean you don't do marketing?" I was like, "They're like, you need to do marketing because even though your crews are busy, when you kick off the marketing, now you're gonna have more opportunities, and when you have more opportunities, now you're picking your jobs." And now you're raising your prices because you're really busy. So it's like when referral work is great. Referral work's a slam dunk. But you also need more options for work, because there's jobs where you're more profitable than others. So for example, if we're doing a bunch of referral work for high-end construction, those $200,000, $300,000 jobs you see on Instagram, those they make really good reels, but they don't make money.
Yeah.
The money's in the pavers, in the small jobs, in the tree trimming, the tree removals, That's where the money's at. So that's where the marketing comes in, getting those smaller jobs, But before that, I didn't even know that until I went to them, and they were like, "No, you need to crank up marketing." And, we started doing the marketing, and we saw the results, and we were able to pivot. Because I was a homeowner like you. I was a business owner like you without that information until I went over there. And they showed me.
But you have to be careful. I wouldn't recommend even getting a marketing agency if you're not going to answer the phone. That's something that's very important. A lot of people hire a marketing agency, but they don't have anyone to answer the phone. Or they're the ones answering the phone, sending the bid, following up, and it's going to catch up on you.
Yeah.
You're not going to grow like that.
Well, you're not being a good businessman.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, a good businessman answers his phone. A good businessman sends all his emails. A good businessman does what he says he's going to do. That's a big one. One of my customers just told me, he goes, "Danny, as long as you," because I told him that my prices went up. And he goes, "Danny, as long as you do what you say you're going to do, you're going to be fine."
Yeah.
So, that goes a long way. Like, I feel, and dude, there's a lot of contractors out there playing contractors. But it's okay. They got to learn, right? We all jumped into it without all the knowledge, without all the information, but we learned along the way. And you have to evolve. You have to pivot. There's industries where I thought I was going to go succeed at, and then I got my ass kicked, and I was like, okay, no, now it's back to this. So it's lessons that you learn.
You have to find out what's right for you, because not every client that calls you is going to be the right client for you. They're just going to take your time away. There's clients who, they're just going to, suck your energy out of you,
Yeah.
So that's one thing that business owners have to be careful with as well. You have to be careful. You have to kind of just choose your client and choose what kind of client you want to go for.
And you have to be very selective of your clients, and you have to be. It's a lot of moving parts running a business. You could be good at the trade, but not be a good businessman.
Yeah.
Because you have to deal with the payroll, the bookkeeping, the insurances, the managers, the HR, the employees, the disgruntled employees, the disgruntled clients. Like, I hit up all my clients before Thanksgiving, so I don't get that text on Thursday or Friday like, "Hey, Danny, this." Like, I let them know I'm out of town. If it's an emergency, call 911, because I'm off. Like, but that's part of being a business owner.
Yeah, and that's a part of being a business owner, that you also have to have time for yourself and for your family. It's not just all business, right? You have to take a moment, take a breather, or give that time to your family as well. I believe that being a good family person, a good family man, also makes you, it makes you want to be a good business owner as well. It teaches you a lot.
Oh yeah, my kids are the ones that keep me going, man. It's sometimes it gets tough, but it's just, So I tell a lot of people when they tell me that they're focusing on the business, they don't want to have kids yet, and they're young, right? Like 25, 30. I tell them, because I started, my firstborn, I was 21 when I had my first kid. And I tell them, like, I mean, the kids, I mean, I don't know if this is the best advice, right? But I'm like, the kids are going to grow up and you're going to mature as they grow up. Like, you're not going to have everything set. You're not going to have everything perfect. Because if you're waiting to have everything perfect, if you're waiting to have your business set, it's never going to happen. We grow our businesses, and as we grow it, the problems grow. So we're never going to have a set business. We're never going to have a perfect business. So what I tell them is don't delay the kids, because that is, to me, I feel like it's a very important part of, life, is having your kids, having your business, and as they grow, you mature. And I mean, it's tough, bro. It's tough.
I think one thing that you're leaving now is being married, getting married. A lot of people say don't get married, start a business first. And I already had my business, when I got married. But once I got married, it changed my mindset even more. It made me want it more. I was to the point where I wake up, think about the business, how I can improve to better myself, for not just for me, but for my wife and for the family in general.
Yeah, there's a lot of alphas out there that don't want to settle down. There's no more girls out there. Huh? They're just, but it's a different time. It's a different time, Yeah. But I always say that it's important. I hate seeing young people, because sometimes I feel like we follow people without knowing that we're following them. And sometimes they can lead you down the wrong path. Like, you see them, all the alphas with their Lamborghinis, and they're over there in Miami, and they're over there like, it's like, bro, come on. Like, and then you hear they get caught, they go to jail, and they're fighting with their freaking OnlyFans girls, and it's like, who wants that, right?
And it sucks because there's a lot of people who are just, they're wasting their time, right? And then they have an alpha that they look on social media and they follow them, and what it does is it just backs them up even more.
Let's see, the medium age at first marriage in the U.S. is approximately 30 years, and 28 for women. So I guess it's 30 years. Technically, I was together. I was already living together at 22.
I'm 25, so.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
You're still good at that age. 20. So the average mother is 27.
In America, according to
What about for Mexican? Because I know that's gonna be younger.
17.
My grandma had 14 kids.
Wow.
7 boys and 7 girls. She was a G. Yeah. Same thing. So the average, and that's another thing for women, right? I can't speak for women, right? Because that's on them. But there's also a lot of influence and a lot of stuff on social media geared towards them to focus on their career, to focus on this, and they put aside
Getting married,
Prince Charming, kids, So it's bad out there, man. There's a lot of outside.
Yeah, I feel like there's nothing better than having a good marriage, or not a good marriage, but a good partner that's gonna be there with you through everything, right? No matter how hard business gets, and they're gonna hold you accountable as well. That's one thing that my wife does. She holds me accountable. I haven't always been like the best example. I haven't always been as accountable as I am now. But it's a process. It's a process, and I feel like you could do a lot more by when you get married. If your mindset's right as well, if you get married nomás por nomás, pues, it's not going to work.
I feel like people overcomplicate it, bro. It's like you meet a girl you like and you freaking get with her and you marry her. You make her the mom of your kids.
I don't know.
What's there to go around?
Yeah.
It's like me and my wife, we started dating, high school sweethearts. And, I know when I met her, that was the girl I was going to be with, and that was it. Married people are more likely to become successful entrepreneurs. Yeah, see, when we started the business, we started together. So she saw, she saw Danny.
She helped her from the ground up.
Danny 0.0 to Danny 1.0 right now. So she's seen me grow. She's seen me develop. and it's beautiful, but I have to take care of it because it's like a flower. If you stop giving it water, sunlight, it's gonna die on you.
Yeah.
So that's the slippery slope as an entrepreneur and business owner.
And
You
that's
start getting busy. You start putting the family to the side, the wife to the side, and that's where you see a lot of good men with good intentions die, because then you lose a very important part, of your journey, of your struggle, and yeah, man, it's not easy.
Yeah, I feel like having a business and having a wife is something that's very similar. Like the same thing that you just said. A business is also like it's in your book, right? You gotta water the business for it to grow.
Yeah, some girls are thirsty though. You gotta give them more water than others, but they're beautiful. That's what we live for, and I feel like it's not to be giving unsolicited advice, but I feel like it's very important that you have babies. Just have a lot of kids. That's the solution. We need more people in this country.
Yeah.
So right now I see you're doing your marketing. You're getting busy. How are you doing to scale? How are you getting the employees? Is that been a challenge? Finding people that want to work?
No, actually, we're getting a lot of calls from Google Ads as well. Like, hey, do you guys have a job? And I used to just at first I was saying no, we're not hiring, but my wife told me, hey, just have them come apply. Just have a conversation with them. Start a relationship with them, even if we don't hire them. You never know. You just have to get to know people and give them an opportunity just to come in, have a conversation, and start hiring them from there, right? Be ready. Because, like I said, if an opportunity comes to you, you're not going to say, hey, I don't have enough people, right?
Exactly.
You got to be ready.
That's what I tell people all the time. When I go buy equipment, when I go buy trucks, I'm not like the tow truck driver. Like, the tow truck driver has a truck, and he's parked outside waiting for the call.
Yeah.
You can't just be like, oh, let me go to the dealer and get the truck if you need me to go pick you up. Like, the tow truck's ready. Same thing. Me in construction, I have my crews ready. I have my equipment ready. I have everything ready. So when that job comes up, I'm not flaking. I'm not stuttering. I'm ready. I'm like, yeah. Let's do it. If you don't have it, you don't have it. They're going to know you're bullshitting. Like, if let's say somebody calls you and says, hey, I'm going to need a full contract for all these stores. You have a resume. You have a bunch of people that already applied that you can, vet. You should already start vetting them and putting them like on it's like an A category or like a.
Yeah, we have like a separate file where
the ones
people,
that passed.
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, they're like there, and then if we need them, we'll call them. And sometimes they'll say, hey, I already got a job, but hey, I know my cousin or someone,
Mm-hmm.
and that takes us to what we said earlier, right? Just create relationships, and everything's going to flow organically.
Yeah, because I feel like a lot of people struggle finding good employees.
Yeah.
But your hours are like crazy hours, no?
Yeah, we have people who start at 6 a.m. We're basically 24/7, so I always have someone working.
Oh, I wouldn't be able to sleep, dude, if I had some like. Me, when it rains, that's like my most peaceful time because my guys aren't working, and I know they can't be working. So it's not like we're not working because we don't want to.
See, we get busy when it rains. Hey, I have a leak. Can you clean my carpet? Like, hey, yeah.
So I know, like, commercial cleaning. I mean, you guys are a whole different industry. I'm pretty sure you guys have all that drama too, no? Between the employees, between favoritism, between Kakea, or is everybody separate with their own accounts so they don't really see each other?
Every account's different, but yeah, there's there's a couple accounts where it's 20 people working, not just my employees, but also from other vendors, right? Then it's like, oh, but that contractor, that vendor is making more money, right? We work at some locations where there's a cleaning company, a catering company, a security guard company, valet. So everyone talks, right? And they're making more money, or they're this, or they do this, or el de la noche no limpió los pisos, or the day porter didn't take out the trash, And I tell them like, hey, you know what? Mistakes happen, right? Let's just keep the operation going. If it's something minimal, I try not to let it consume you. because if you let everything consume you, it's just gonna take you down. So you just gotta take it day by day. You gotta listen to your employees, but also let them know, like, hey, you know what?
You have to guide them.
Yeah,
Tranquilo,
no,
relax.
no es tan, tan serio como lo piensas que es,
Yeah. No, yeah, I deal with that same thing over here,
Yeah.
In construction. They're going to complain about this guy or complain about, certain things or certain other companies. But it's just, we were just talking about it earlier, being the coach, right? And letting them know, like, hey, this is the goal. Like, if that fool forgot something, like, we're moving on. Like, we have to, this is the deadline. This is the goal we need to be at. You need to run this play. Like, that's, our job to coach them, right? And to make sure that their eyes on the ball. And at the end of the day, we're trying to win.
Yeah, I try to create like a organic and respectful friendship with my workers, but at the same time have that respect, right? Like when it's business, but also I want them to know that I'm there for them, right? And they're also able to come to me and tell me like, hey, maybe I did this wrong, right? Because I'm not perfect, so I have that trust with them where they're able to tell me like, hey, this is going on. Can we change it or
Yeah, same thing. Here we have a open door policy.
Okay.
Anybody can come in and talk to me. Like there's no. I used to work for a company and it's those things that happen, right? That kind of you need these things to happen to you. People to put you down, people to doubt you. I always say it's like bullets in my chamber, like.
Yeah, I've had employees call me out like, hey, no me llevaste los químicos en tiempo. And it's and at the end of the day, it's my fault, right? But we have to find a way to make it happen, because if they don't have what they need, then they can't do the work. And what's gonna happen? Your clients are gonna find out. Your clients are gonna see that you're not doing the work. So at the end of the day, it has to be like a.
That's to me the easiest way to get fired at Rosewood. If my guys stop working and it's your fault, you're getting fired. I always tell them, like project managers, supervisors, I say, keep my clients happy and make sure my guys are working. If we're at a job site and for any reason you couldn't figure out the lights or you couldn't order them or you couldn't do, and my guys are standing around, like that's to me zero tolerance, because when those guys stop working, we all stop making money. So that's one of my things that I'm like, you have to have, my guys have to work no matter what. Like we can't afford to stand around, to wait around, especially if I'm paying project managers and supervisors. Everything needs to be smooth in a construction job, because if I have 4 guys sitting around, that's $3,500 a day that I could be billing. So that's where efficiency comes in. And that's where every project manager, that's why it's hard for them. But
yeah, like for me, for commercial cleaning, it's a lot of like recurring contracts, right? So it's like I have a person at one job site, permanently, so they get comfortable, right? And I always tell them like, hey, don't get comfortable. There's always room for improvement. There's always room to to do certain things in the building, keep it looking nice. And I try to make it to where, okay, we're cleaning, but there's also other things that we can do to the client that will make them happy. Like even switching a light bulb, or hey, my door's kind of broken. Let's fix it. Like, it's just a hinge that's probably not screwed right, and we'll fix it for them. Something very small, Or they ask you for a favor, like, hey, can you, water the plants? Something like that. We do it.
Yeah, and I feel like that makes your company stand apart. And it's funny you say that, because I'm reading this book, Unreasonable Hospitality, and it's a restaurant guy. But like I said, I'm always learning. I don't care if it's restaurants, but this guy took that restaurant that was like nobody knew what that restaurant was into like the #1 restaurant in the world. And he talks about hospitality, creating moments, creating memories for your clients. Like today, we finished the job, and I didn't have the mulch on my proposal. It's like $300. We finished the job a day early. We went to go pick up the planting mix. I told the client, I went and put the mulch, no charge to you. We're done. And she was so happy.
And
little things like that.
That's the thing that they're always going to remember. They're always going to remember and that's what will make them refer you.
Yeah, I'm not saying give free stuff. Fix stuff. Like if the gate's loose, when I went to that job, I told the guys, make sure you guys clean everything before you leave, even the areas we didn't work on. Yeah. So I want them to go back there and be like, oh wow, you know. Yeah. So it's just putting yourself apart from everybody else.
Yeah, like we try to be more like a property manager, like trying to see what's wrong with a building, what's wrong. You walk into an HOA, an apartment building, and the gate's not closing or opening, and we report it right away to the manager, and you're their eyes, and they know that they can trust us when something's wrong. If there's a leak in the building, we let them know right away.
That's why it's important to have, proactive employees. Like if you have to keep reminding people and you have to keep motivating people, it gets tiring. It gets old. So anytime I have an employee that I know he's proactive, thinks outside the box, that I don't have to be reminding him, for me that's a keeper. Yeah. But even if you're talented, like I've had guys that are really good, like they'll kick ass, they'll run circles around people, but only when they want to.
Yeah.
So if they're not consistent, they're not motivated, and I always have to be over there nurturing them and patting them on the back. It's no good.
Yeah. So what helped my business a lot is hiring a project manager / supervisor, and he also helps me with floors and carpets. His name's Francisco. So he's one of those employees where he does everything. Like you tell him, he'll do it, and he won't leave till he does it right. And he always goes the extra mile. So you need people like that. Sometimes he holds me accountable as well. Like we hold each other accountable, and that's what makes a great team at the end of the day.
Yeah, I had a guy one time. We sent him to a tree job, and he couldn't find parking, and he called us. He goes, "Hey, there's no parking on this tree." I'm like,
"I'm leaving."
No, I'm like, "Bro, what? I'm over here at the office. Like, do you want me to go over there and find you parking? Like, I don't." Oh, okay. I think I saw one, but I'm like, why would you call me? Say there's no parking. Like, if there's no parking, you wait. But that's the proactive mentality. Like, why would you call, me to tell me there's no parking? Like, wait for the parking. Like, come on. But it's stuff that you deal with as a business owner sometimes. The employee stuff.
Yeah.
Mindset, like you said. You have to have the right mindset.
Yeah, because just because there wasn't no parking doesn't mean you're gonna go home, right? You're gonna lose a client. Your business won't grow like that.
Yeah, dude,
that's where a lot of people make the mistake where they try something, it doesn't work out for a month or two, and then they stop. They go back to a job, and there's nothing with going back to a job, but it just keeps them at the same place. Like they get stuck there for who knows how long.
Yeah, well, they'll get to the job site and be like, "Hey, can you tell the client we're here?" I'm like, "Bro, please go there and knock on the door and tell them you're there." But
I get that a lot,
dude. But it's one of those things. No, I'm really grateful for my guys. I mean, we have a good team. Everything that we do here is because of them. They're killing it out there. They're monsters.
Yeah.
So it's for me, it's showing them gratitude, taking care of them, and dealing with inflation, dude. Everything's so expensive. So it's like, we just raised our prices. It's like, how can we pay our guys more? Because, I don't want to be like, oh, well, there's no work. They can't. Like, no, we always strive to be the company that pays the most. So when people go like, oh, shit, you're working at Rosewood, they know they're making more money than any other landscape company.
And you get a lot of pushback, right? Well, from some clients. So how do you handle that?
A lot of my clients already know I'm going to be expensive. They just don't want to get bullshitted. They want you to do what you say you're going to do and do it when you told them you were going to do it. So if I'm telling you I'm going to finish your project in 3 months, it's going to get done in 3 months. My clients tell me the most expensive contractor is the wrong one.
Yeah.
My clients are smart. I'm not over there fighting for Yelps with the Yelp clients looking for the cheapest contractor. My clients are already vetted themselves. They already went through my website. So my website's my branding, right? We redid my whole website. The advanced marketers went, redid everything.
That's one thing that stuck with me that you said at the event. Or it was a lot of people come to you and tell you, oh, I just want a Más o Menos website. Whoa, you're going to get Más o Menos clients. You always say that, and it stuck with me,
Yeah,
and
you
that
want the
takes
best.
you back to, hey, you got to invest in yourself. You got to invest in yourself, and that's what's going to, keep the ball rolling.
Yeah, when my clients see my website, they see the jobs. So they're like, oh, shit, this is going to cost some money. So it's like, when I show up, they already know we have a proven track record. I educate them on what we're gonna do, and yeah, dude, I never get pushback. Honestly, I never get pushback. And people tell me like, "How do you sell designs?" I was like, "How do you? You just tell them they gotta pay for it.
Yeah.
Why am I gonna give you a free design if the job's not even mine?" And they tell me, and sometimes I would have homeowners that say, "Oh, I have a company. They say they'll do a free design," and I tell them, "Oh, a free waste of time."
Yeah,
Because they're just gonna waste your time.
Yeah.
They're gonna give you a half-ass design, 3D, no construction. What are we doing, bro? You're trying to build something for 200, 300,000. Like, why are we? What are we doing? Like, let's get it done the right way. Get the plans. Pay 5,000, 10,000. There's people that pay 20,000 for design plans here. Let's get it done. But
Yeah.
that's an investment that's gonna save you in the long run.
Yeah, if you go with the cheap contractor, you had a job for 100,000, you end up paying 200,000, right? Because you went with the cheaper contractor.
Yeah, I had a client that, I mean, we still talk, but they got a bid from me, and they ended up going with another contractor in, I don't know, God no, San Bernardino, Riverside, somewhere far, right?
Yeah.
So these guys are like more specialty contractors. They come in, they're lean, they don't have a lot of overhead, they don't have a lot of payroll, they sub everything out, whatever, you know. To my respects to everybody that's out there in the trades, they do it their way, we do it our way. So they got the job, but in the city we work in, there's a lot of rules and regulations, there's a lot of HOA rules. So you're not only dealing with the city permits, you're dealing with the HOA. So what happened is they started the pool, and then they're my clients now. They called me back and they're like, "Hey, dude, like this guy can't finish the job."
Yeah.
And he only comes like once a week and takes videos for Instagram and leaves it. I'm like, bro, you know, I mean, I didn't tell them like, well, you should have called me or you should have gave me the job from the beginning. They knew, but we ended up, you know, taking over the job, and you know, they do a lot of good stuff for me now. Like they help me with my administrative stuff and they're really good partners now. But yeah, they had gone with another company that was cheaper, and we ended up having to go back. And you know, I've got a couple of those that they asked me to go back, and I tell them it's gonna be more expensive now.
I just had a client a couple of weeks ago call me to clean a toy store, right here in Long Beach. And they didn't like the price, and they even had another guy call me from the same company, you know, basically telling me, "Hey, are you gonna want the job or not? This is how much I can pay you. I have 6 stores I'm gonna open." But to me, I don't care if he has 6 stores, right? Because at the end of the day, you know, we basically have like a certain quality that we want to give the client, and I'm not gonna, you know, decrease my quality for them to just, you know, pay what they want to pay. You have to know your worth, right? And you have to be able to say no. So what we did is we respectfully declined. We said, "Hey, you know what? We appreciate your business. We're not going to do the job in the future. If you need anything, let us know." So yeah.
And not everybody's gonna be your client. I had a guy. We just finished a project in PV, and it's funny because when I started my business, maybe like a year or 2 years in, there was another project, a pretty big project. It was like 200,000, and the guy, he was just a very hard ass. He came out and he said, "Danny, I don't like these numbers. You gotta give me a better price. I'm in the financial services business, and I know the economy's gonna go down, and then you're gonna come back to me." He said that like, "Then you're gonna come back to me. Let's just make a deal now." And I was like, "No, we're fine." And then like a year later, we do this massive job, like 2 houses down from him. So he still hasn't even done his construction in his backyard, which is now going to be a lot more than 200,000 because everything went up. And we just did his neighbor's badass project. He saw us there for like 2 months every day. Rosewood trucks, porta potty, like my guys, uniforms. So, hey, like not every client's going to be your client. He wasn't my client, and you know, he still hasn't done his project.
Yeah, and they try to incentivize you, say, "Hey, I'm going to give you more work. I'm going to give you a referral." But that's not going to pay your bills, honestly. It's just going to take your time away.
And I feel like a lot of entrepreneurs that are listening and are starting with their businesses, they have to understand how to price themselves. You have to be profitable. It's in your best interest, everybody's best interest. I tell sometimes clients when they go, "Oh, I'm gonna do a remodel," but they're bidding it very high. I'm like, you want your GC to be profitable. Trust me, because I see when they're not. They're gonna delay your project a year, 2 years. You're gonna be screwed. Like I tell them, like you want your GC to be profitable. It's in your best interest for them to make money because if they're not, so then they go, oh shit.
Yeah.
So maybe that's good then. Like yeah, they're like, oh, they're 300,000, 500,000 for the remodel. It's too expensive. I'm like, you want them to be expensive. If they're not making money, you're gonna be in a world of trouble. You're gonna be getting sued by the subs. They didn't pay them. It's a shit show, and it happens because they don't know how to price themselves. Agarra el jale, güey. That doesn't work. You have to do your numbers. A lot of people tell me, how much do you charge per square foot? I'm like, bro, I'm not gonna tell you my square footage because my square footage is different than yours. I go based on the job. If it's a driveway, is there access? Is it a special paver? Do we need drainage? Do we need, all that stuff? So I can't charge by the square foot. I'm going to charge you by how long is it going to take my guys to go and actually do the job and where I'm going to make money.
Yeah, and that's where a lot of clients, they ask you, how much do you charge per square foot? And I told them, no, I don't charge by the square foot because you can have 10,000 feet of just concrete or you can have 10,000 feet with 50 desks, So
Exactly.
that's not going to be cleaned if I charge per square foot.
Yeah.
You're not going to make any money. And that's where a lot of contractors as well, they that's one thing that they face every day. They don't know how to charge. And that's where I learned how to charge. Where I started networking with other business owners, attend events. You learn, right? You're not going to learn everything at once, but you're going to go to a show or an event and you're going to learn at least one thing that you learn. It's going to take your business to the next level.
And you go back to environment. Like we did a job, time and materials, when the rains happened like a year ago, the mudslides. And I was driving to that estimate, dude. I didn't want to go because it's a little bit out of my service area. But it was slow at the time. And I'm talking to one of my buddies. He does tree. He's a tree supervisor. So he's in the trades. And I tell him, dude, I'm going to go look at this job. It's going to be a pretty big job, but I'm going to do time and materials. I tell him, but I'm going to do like 110 because it's time and materials. And then he's all like, nah, dude, don't do 110. There's a lot of emergency work right now. Go higher. So I was on my way over there, dude. And then I'm like, all right, dude, I was like, all right. Fuck it. I'll go 130. I went like 20% more. Dude, I get that job at 130 an hour. And it was like a difference at the end of $7,000 or $9,000 for that whole job. By me having that conversation with that person. So I owe Sammy some lunch. But, if I would have talked to somebody else on my way over there, I got out of the way. There's no work. I got out of the way. Just do that. So it really matters,
who you hang around with.
Who you talk to. Sometimes I get people like, dude, how much you pay for marketing? Oh, this much. Oh, dude, I'm like, what? Like, that's normal. Like, you have to pay for marketing. No, pero es que yo quiero algo más o menos. I'm like, bro, you don't listen. Más o menos is not good because if you're paying cheap, you're going to get cheap. You want good service, you want good marketing, you got to pay for it. You want good work, you got to pay for it. It's like a car wash versus a detail. There's difference. So that's what people need to understand. When you're trying to save money, you're shooting yourself in the foot.
Yeah. One thing that I would tell business owners is like, if you're trying to start a business, don't worry about the money, right? Because you're starting from zero. So just go all in, right? What can happen? You end up in the same spot you're at right now, right?
I always say the money comes later. A lot of people struggle. A lot of people worry about the money. What if it doesn't work out? What if it does? It's like somebody said at one of these events, if I were to give you $1 million, let's just say I give you $1 million, what is the first thing you would do? Oh, so run marketing. Also, you would do marketing if you had the $1 million. Yeah. Okay, well, you don't have the $1 million and you still need to run marketing, so figure it out.
Yeah, might as well, right?
You need it. I know I need my project managers. I know I need my foremans. I know I need my my email, my websites, all that stuff.
And just because it's slow doesn't mean you're gonna short, or just because you had a bad month, it doesn't mean you're gonna shut it off. You gotta keep it on, not just your marketing but your employees. Like you gotta try to keep them busy.
100%.
I'm the type of person that will, I get one job for something. I'll go buy a machine, and even if it doesn't make me a lot of money, at least it pays for itself, right? Because once you do that, you're gonna get more jobs. A lot of people don't understand that.
It's hard to explain that when you get an equipment or a machine, like we picked up a Cabata. I don't even know the model, but it's a big machine, a big excavator, because we're doing a retaining wall. My smaller excavator didn't reach. It's like 40 grand. But now all of a sudden we're getting more demo jobs. We're getting more excavation jobs. It's like I'm attracting it because I already had that big machine. So when I go to my job sites, I'm looking around and I'm like, oh, my machine fits here. Oh yeah, we can do this, we can do that. So it's like you attract it, right? If my tree chipper, that's like $130,000 machine. Like now I go and I'm like, oh, you have trees. Yeah. Let's take care of your trees. If I didn't have the tree chipper, oh, fuck, I have to rent it. Then I have to get a tree guy. I'm already second guessing myself, but guess what? That thing's parked right here in the yard. I have my tree climber. I have my grounds. Every time I show up to a job, now, hey, let's do your trees. So it's you positioning yourself. And that's what people don't understand. If you're gonna be an entrepreneur, you can't be in your shell. You can't be scared of debt, because if you're trying to grow with your own money, it's gonna take you 500 years.
You're gonna get stuck.
Yeah, Coca-Cola has debt. Caterpillar has debt. Russia has debt. Well, there's countries that don't have debt, but most countries have debt. So, what's debt gonna do to you? That's how you grow your business.
But you have to worry about if it's bad or good debt, right? When I first started my business, I was 20, right? I started doing pretty good. I went and bought an ATV, that was bad. Yeah, the razor, and I broke my arm like 4 days later after I bought it. But that's all it took, bro. Like that happened, and then I don't know, like right after I came back, and the universe just blessed me.
I mean, I feel like it's you being. I always tell people, you're great. You have all the potential. I feel like you believe it already, so you're going for it. Yeah. And a lot of people don't believe it. Yeah. This fool's bullshitting, or this fool doesn't know my situation, or this fool doesn't know my upbringing. He doesn't know my wife. He doesn't know this. Like, they put all these barriers and excuses. You started believing it. So now you're acting on it. Like, you can't fail. Yeah. I just need this information here and here, and I'm going to apply it, and I'm going to scale up just like they're doing.
Yeah. You have to know where you want to go. You have to know where you want to go with your life, but you have to find out who you need to become to get there. And that's where a lot of people don't realize that as well. When I
started my business, I used to work for this company. I remember my ex-boss said, I was working with his brother-in-law, and they're white. So we were at a job site, and he was like, oh, who was the boss on the crew? And then we're like, nah, we were just working together, right? Because there's always a lead. Yeah. And then he goes, the white man's always going to be the boss. And then I was like, he's playing, but I didn't like it. So that's one of the things that I was like, all right. Like, my kids are growing up. Like, I need to change my environment. I need to change who I am as a person. I need to level up. I need to show the world what I can do, what I can build, right? So I started, educating myself, watching, the educational videos, Jim Rohn, all these. I'm in groups for plumbers, dude. I don't do no plumbing, but I know the plumbers. They know their numbers. They know their KPIs. They're very invested in their businesses. I'm not in a group, I have the Rosewood group. It's different contractors. But before that, I was in plumbing groups, HVAC groups. I have nothing to do with them, but I see how they move. I see how they operate. So I started educating myself.
At the end of the day, every business essentially runs the same. Yeah. Right?
90%.
Yeah, you need a sales team, marketing team. You gotta get on social media. People have to know who you are. Yeah, training.
That's big.
The admin aspect of it as well.
Well, the branding. I've invested over the last 2 years probably $200,000 on my personal branding. Did I know I was gonna get a return? No, but I invested in it. I like to. People say fuck around and find out. I'm like, build it and find out. Yeah. Build it first, then you find out. Don't be fucking waiting. Don't be contemplating. Build it.
Well, one thing that I learned from you is you said something on the lines of, okay, the faster you make mistakes, the faster you're learning, the faster you'll grow. And that's one thing that stuck with me, bro.
Yeah, 100%. Like sometimes, I have a pretty high tolerance for stress. I don't know if that's good or bad, right? Because then I put myself in really stressful situations. But anytime I'm down, anytime like I've woken up, dude, when my business was doing $3 million a year, I would wake up and my bank account was negative $6,000. So I would get into these situations where I'd be like, all right, this is pretty tough, but what am I gonna learn out of this? What am I gonna do different? Because when it hurts, that's when you react. You lay off the bad employees. You lay off the bad managers.
You track your expenses.
You start tracking your expenses. You start tracking your hourly. If somebody tells me, Danny, we did a $300,000 job and we only made 5%, 10%. All right. I don't cry over it. Okay. How are we going to get better? What did we do wrong? Show me the books. Show me the play. Show me the job costing. I don't lose sleep over it. All right. I'm going to get better. And that's how I see myself. I've been doing it since 2019. So I'm already 5 years in. Okay, now I can't be making the same rookie mistakes, right? But there's still going to be more mistakes to be done. Because when you're growing, when you're trying things, you're going to fail.
Yeah.
But the important thing is that you're trying them and you're learning from them.
Yeah.
Software. People hesitate on software. Oh, my wife's always like, all these subscriptions, cancel them. Like, I'll try Slack, Jobber, Company Camps, whatever I'm using. Whatever I'm not, but I'm not stressing over $20. It adds up.
And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work at the end of the day. You try something new.
But you tried it.
Yeah.
How many times people tell you, I get this all the time, Danny, it's because you should have. Or you should have done this. You should have done that. Dude, I just listen and I'm very calm. And I'm just thinking to myself, yeah, I could have, should have, but I didn't. But I tried. But now I learned. Right? Because you're on the sidelines telling me what I should have done. But I'm in the arena.
But they haven't done it.
I'm in the arena fighting for my life. I'm in the arena fighting with the Lions. Learning. Every loss is a lesson. You're still in the stands. Oh, you should. It's like the boxer. No, güey, es que el pinche Canelo le hubiera tirado el uppercut. Bro, you're not there fucking getting the Bivol fucking jabs and, or you're not fucking, when you box, that fool misses, you hear the fucking sound. So, that's why I'm always big on personal brand. Why personal brand matters more than SEO in 2025. So we go back to Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. I know my videos went super viral. And that's because I was just honest. I wasn't bullshitting anybody. I was just telling them what it is. Now, I see a lot of, other business or gurus that are trying to sell, courses, but they never build it. So I say, when people tell me, oh, Danny, I paid $1,000 for this event, or I paid $3,000 for this, or even $30,000 for like whatever they do, and I go, okay, did you learn from it? Then okay. If you learn from it, don't complain. Because you can take one thing you learn from that and apply it to your business, and it's going to change the trajectory over time. So I always say it's money well spent if you're learning from it. If you're out there just to be there, like most people that pay $1,000 for an event, they're fucking going to go there and take some notes.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm big on that, on going to these events and learning. If you compare, if you were to go to college or school, a 4-year college university, 170,000. How many mistakes have we done in business? I probably do $100,000 of mistakes a year. Yeah, right.
But how much money did it generate you in that 1 year? Maybe
Yeah.
4 times, right? 4 or 5 times.
Yes. And a lot of people tell me, about school, if they want to go to school, and a lot of people are kind of getting, a lot of people don't want to send their kids to school no more because of AI, everything that's going on. I actually just had this conversation with one of my customers, and he was talking about, like, fuck, my kids just graduated college, and fuck, there's no fucking work, fucking AI, because they're getting degrees in certain things, and it's like AI is killing them. Dude, you just went to college for 4 years and spent close to 2 bands, and you're getting a shitty job. Like, you have to work, as a barista, which is not a bad job, but it's like you're not working where you studied for. So, what I tell people, if you're going to go to school, take, for example, somebody that goes to school for business and somebody that just goes and works for somebody. So, let's say, for example, I want to be a plumber. I'm going to go to school for business for 4 years, or I'm going to go work under somebody for 4 years. After those 4 years are done, who's going to be more ready to run a business? The guy that was working with an actual plumber for 4 years, or the guy that just graduated with his business degree?
The guy that worked those 4 years.
Yeah.
Hands on.
It's
There's
all about hands-on experience. And that's what people don't understand. It's like when you're working for the mafia, the driver, first you're the driver, you're driving those guys around, and then all of a sudden you're part of them.
Yeah, it's okay to start, a one-man job, a one-man company, and you'll eventually get there. It's a process, right? But if you don't change what you're doing, you're gonna stay at the same spot. At every level of business, you have to change something, right? You're not gonna get to 10 million from doing one thing, right? I'm not 10 million, but yeah,
you're gonna get there pretty soon. The way you're going.
I hope so. But that's one thing that we have to understand. You have to change. If you're making 2 million, right, for 3 years in a row, you have to take a moment and see what am I doing wrong, or what do I have to change to get to 5, right?
I feel like the fastest way to make income and generational wealth here in this country is service-based business.
Top 10 that will be affected by AI next year.
Customer service, administrative, retail, fast food workers. You order with the machine now. Hopefully they don't forget the ranch.
Even marketing is using AI a lot, and that's where it's helping our business a lot. Automations, AI.
You still need that human.
Yeah.
Right? You still need that human to run it, but AI is just gonna make everything a lot easier, a lot faster, right? It's gonna scale down the hours spent on marketing and automating all your stuff. For us businesses, it's gonna be great. Less overhead, but people need to really wake up, and I see it a lot. And this is just, for people that want to, right? Everybody, they're on their own time. Some people want to go down the trades, invest in themselves. Some people don't. I mean, it really depends. But for us, if you're listening to this podcast and you want to hear from business people, this is what we're talking about right now. AI, And the electricians, right? The electricians, the plumbing, the HVAC, the roofing. We still got a good 10 years before we're even impacted by AI or technology. I mean, if they end up building these robots, it's going to take a lot of money to build them. Personal training. Dude, I ask ChatGPT all the time about my diet and stuff. So what I should be eating, all that. So it's, all those people.
Even planning out your day, AI will plan your day to be more effective.
Yep. Yeah, dude. People, they can't be sleeping on it. Landscaping, pool cleaning.
Those are the ones that it says won't be effective for a while.
Yeah, so we're good. We're good for now. I mean, you just have to adapt. I feel like you have to adapt, and I feel like it's cool because I feel like a lot of people are networking now, especially in our industry. We're getting together. Like, I'm super happy when I see all these business owners young. I'm like, damn, dude, you're 22, you're 25. Like, I was not doing what you're doing when I was 25. So it's only gonna get better. It's gonna get better for all of us.
Yeah.
Because if you're doing good, you're charging more. I'm doing good, I'm charging more. Right? So everybody I talk to, I was like, you gotta raise your prices. Because a lot of people are underbidding themselves. They're not charging correctly.
And that ruins it for everyone else too, right?
100%. So it's important.
Yeah.
So we have. So what is it that you have right now, like coming up? Anything upcoming? Any big jobs or?
Right now, we're actually almost finishing up on 25 CVS stores that we're doing carpet cleaning for, and we wouldn't have that job if it wasn't for marketing, right? It's all a process, and I feel like we're getting there. This was like one of the bigger jobs that we got from marketing. It was a $40,000 one-time job, multiple locations, a one-time job, but it also is opening up a relationship with this client up there in Chicago. They're a big company that is subbing out work here in Southern California, but we took the job. We just started with 3 stores, and they liked what we did, and all of a sudden they said, we have 25 stores, you got to finish right before December. And this was 2 weeks ago, right? So we're cleaning 2 or 3 stores per day, making it happen. Nice. And being available for the client. That's one thing that's very important.
I see a lot of CVS closing down, or Rite Aids and stuff.
Rite Aid's closing down, so CVS is getting really busy. So I think
they're just closing down because of the shoplifters or Amazon, or they're just probably just.
Yeah, I believe there's a lot of things that are playing into that. Just the market.
Right? We go back to the jobs. Like when people graduate high school, I mean, there's always jobs, stepping stones or. Yeah, man. When I see these stores closing down or restaurants, I'm like, fuck.
It also goes into the part where people or companies don't adapt. So, they have to close down.
Well, they give all the tax incentives, too, to Amazon, and then you're giving them millions of dollars of incentives, but then they're out competing the actual brick and mortar that have to pay property taxes, have to pay employees, all the California baggage on top of it. You pay. People don't understand. You're paying an employee $20 an hour. It's probably costing you $35 to $40 an hour because of all the workman's comp, insurances. So for us in California, I mean, we're good, but we also pay a lot of taxes. So all that stuff plays in, into your hourly rate, how much you're charging.
Yeah, well, one thing that people were one thing that you were talking about earlier is people are charging very cheap, and they don't take that into consideration. Labor, workers' comp, payroll taxes, profit, material. It's a lot. They
we gotta do another event for Know Your Numbers. Like, man, but that takes all day though. Like, for people to understand, like, where do you put your overhead, your marketing expenses, your all that stuff. Yeah, see, dude, Amazon received over 11 billion publicly documented than traditional stores. What are incentives? That's probably some kind of tax kickback. Yeah, dude, and then they go and buy a freaking $2 billion yacht. It's like that. It's all messed up, bro. So, it's tax breaks, yeah. Damn, wish I could get a tax break. It goes back to, the young people that want to work. And you got to understand, nobody's going to come save you. As you can see, like, you can't depend too much on government. You can't depend too much on anything but yourself.
At the end of the day, you're the only person that's going to bet on yourself. So you have to just go for it.
Yeah, you have to bet on yourself, educate yourself. Provide value to the marketplace, right? I know sometimes, when we talk about all these things, it's not to be a negative Nancy, right? Like, you can either stay where you're at and be a victim, or you can be like, okay, I'm going to go through adversity, but I'm going to overcome it, right? Like, my parents came to this country with nothing, no English, no papers, and they were able to make a life for themselves, raise us. So,
Why can't we do it now,
yeah.
right? We have all the tools in front of us. There's so much tools and opportunities out there, but we don't take them sometimes.
Sometimes when I'm stressed, dude, I'm like, all right, are you really stressed? What's your stress? Like you have to send a couple emails? Like your mom literally crossed the desert, not knowing if she was going to make it, having to raise you in a whole different country, leaving all their friends and family behind for a better life. And you're over here stressed because you have to send 4 emails and shoot a podcast? Like, come on, bro. It's like, is that really? Yeah. So,
I learned how to be thankful for all of that because that's what I want. That's what I wanted. That's what I wish for. I wish for a business. I wish to do better for me. So it's all part of the process.
Yeah, and I feel like, you can't go wrong investing in yourself. Like we were just talking about it earlier with the people in the office. Is like, I always say, dude, you're not going to be born again. You have one shot. Why not? Just fucking take that 401k out, fucking invest it in a business. Like, just run it. Like, run it. Like, don't be, scared.
Don't wait for next year. Don't wait for the economy. Even when people say, "Oh, I'm gonna wait for the houses to drop price," like, bro, it's always gonna be, it's always gonna go up and down. And if you don't take the opportunity, it's just gonna set you back even more.
I used to have that mentality where I was like, man, the houses are too expensive, the cars are too expensive. But I'm like, well, there's people still buying them, so maybe I need to figure out, some stuff because they are being sold.
And people will buy if you're a business owner and you have a product or if you have a service, someone's going to buy, no matter the market or the price.
And sometimes people think it's competitive, like, oh, there's too many people out there. You're never, like, when I'm busy, all my competitors are busy. Everybody has work. You're never gonna run out of work. Like, if you're good and you do a good service, you're never gonna run out of work. But if you're out there burning people, not doing things correctly, of course you're gonna run dry.
As long as you're being organic and you're being honest, there's always gonna be a client for you.
100%.
No matter how busy it is, man.
Yeah, man. I feel like, what you're doing is good. And I don't even have to tell you because you already know. You got to keep investing in yourself, educating yourself.
Yeah.
Everything you're doing is because you started believing, everything like, okay, I can do it. I can do it too.
And it was just like 8 months ago, I was scared to come out there and talk to people, and I was afraid of people telling me no. But just my mindset changed a little bit more. I just pivoted a little bit. And it's thankfully it's going, the ball's rolling.
When you came, how long ago was when you joined our group in
back in March as well. Back in March.
March?
Yeah.
So it was like 7 months, 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember, and that's what I say. It's all about networking.
Yeah.
Connecting.
And I've been watching your videos for 2 years, man. And all it took was that one change in mindset, and just hit you up, say, hey, my name's Jesus. Can I go meet you? That's it, man. Just that one little conversation that sparked up until today. Here I am, and thank you for the opportunity.
No, thank you
to be here on your podcast.
And I feel like it's important that we take away the importance of networking, connecting with the right people. Dude, I'm already 2025. It's going to 2026. I have so many people cut off. Like, I'm just focusing on certain relationships, making sure those are strong, networking with the right people, and that's going to take you a lot farther, being with like-minded individuals. And you can shoot the shit, you can, do small talk here and there, but small talk is for small people.
Yeah, and being locked in, right? A lot of people are already checked out for the holiday tomorrow.
Oh,
and here we are, you called me and said, hey, I have a podcast in 2 hours. Let's do it, right? You have to be open for all of this.
But because when you had sent me that message, you had already reached out, so you already had planted the seed.
Yeah, I just said, hey, how many likes? I jokingly just texted you a couple of weeks ago. I said, hey, how many likes for to be in your podcast?
But you see, that's where you plant the seed. So then I'm rearranging stuff, and I'm like, oh, Jesus had hit me up. Yeah. So come through, and that's, like you said, it's just not being scared, making those connections, reaching out, and talking to people. And that's why, you're going to get far in business, because people want to do business with people. And if you're a good people person, it's going to open up a lot of doors. And, and people only see you through your branding. So those videos are important, because a lot of people tell me, I don't want to do videos, but I'm like, you have to. Dude, I'm not that great on camera. People are like, no, you are. I was like, bro, I don't like being on camera either.
Yeah, but I believe that just being organic, it's going to get you farther than, if you're faking it, it's just gonna get you to a certain point. But if you're organic and you're honest, you're truthful, and you're real with people, it's gonna, it's gonna reward you at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you're faking, you're attracting fake stuff.
Buying the Lambos.
Yeah, like somebody's like, you gotta be a good bullshitter. I was like, why would you want to be a bullshitter? Like, no, just do you, be honest.
Just be truthful to yourself.
Nobody can compete with you, right? And that's, I'm a big believer in that. Nobody can compete with me. That's why I'm so confident, because nobody can beat me, because I am me,
Yeah.
So, all right, Jesus.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. Skyview Cleaning. Anybody in the South Bay?
Skyview Maintenance.
Skyview Maintenance. Anybody in the South Bay that wants commercial cleaning, hit them up. You're here in the South Bay, right?
Yeah, we're in Carson, but we branch out up to Beverly Hills, downtown, a little bit of even Orange County now, the South Bay, Redondo Beach.
And you're always hiring, so anybody.
Yes, sir. We're always hiring. Give us a call.
I always like them to fill out a form.
Yeah.
It's easier.
They fill out a quick application,
Yeah.
right? They don't go through the whole process, but a quick application, get their IDs and to know who they are.
Perfect. All right,
Yes,
guys.
sir. Thank you.
Thank you.